There is a specific kind of man who does everything right. He is present, he is open, he communicates, he shares, and he watches the relationship slowly die anyway. Not because he loved wrong, because he revealed too much. Most men are taught that intimacy means total transparency, that love means handing someone the map to every room inside you. Machiavelli understood something far more dangerous. The man who reveals everything gives away the one thing that keeps him irreplaceable, his mystery. Today I am going to give you 5 things you must never tell your woman, even when she asks. Because the question is never just a question, and your answer, the honest one, the open one, the one you were told to give, may be the most expensive thing you have ever said. There is a difference between intimacy and exposure. One builds connection, the other destroys power. And once the power is gone, the attraction follows. 1. The details of past relationships. The body count. She asked you. Maybe it was casual. Maybe it was late at night. Maybe she said it like it did not matter, like the answer was just information and she was just curious. How many women have you been with? And something in your chest tightened. Not because you did not know the answer, because you already knew what the answer would cost you. You had 2 options in that moment. You told the truth and watched something change in her eyes. Or you lied and carried that lie like a stone you could never put down. Most men pick one of those 2 roads and convince themselves there was no third option. Machiavelli saw it clearly 500 years before that question was ever asked in your bedroom. He wrote, "The wise man does what he must, not what he is told." He was not talking about deception. He was talking about sovereignty. The sovereign man does not answer every question just because it was asked. He understands something most men never learn. A question is not a contract. Being asked does not mean you are obligated to answer. Being in a relationship does not mean every room inside you is available for inspection. Loving someone does not mean surrendering your privacy at the door. But nobody told you that. They told you honesty is everything. They told you secrets poison relationships. They told you a real man has nothing to hide. So you answered. And the moment you did, you handed her something she was never supposed to have. Not information, a weapon. Here is what actually happens when you answer that question. Not what you think happens, not what she says will happen. What actually happens inside the psychology of the person sitting across from you. The number you give her does not stay a number. It becomes a lens. From that moment forward, every woman you speak to, every name you mention, every notification that lights up your phone gets filtered through that number. You mention a female coworker. She does not hear a coworker. She hears a possibility. You are friendly with someone at a restaurant. She does not see friendliness. She sees pattern recognition. You did not create a foundation of honesty. You created a permanent audit. Psychologists call it hypervigilance. When the mind receives information that signals potential loss, it activates a monitoring system, low level, constant, almost invisible. She is not even aware she is doing it most of the time. But the system is running, and you activated it yourself, voluntarily, because someone asked you a question on a Tuesday night, and you thought honesty would bring you closer. It brought you under surveillance. Now let us talk about the number itself. The first mistake is going high. You tell her the real number. It is higher than she expected. She says it is fine. She says it does not bother her. She is lying. Not maliciously. She genuinely believes herself in that moment. But what her brain hears is not a number. What her brain hears is, he has practice choosing and leaving. Every time there is friction, every time you pull back, every time you go quiet, that number whispers to her. He has done this before. He knows how to leave. You did not give her a fact. You gave her a story she will replay at her lowest moments. The second mistake is going low. You minimize, you round down, you say something vague, and now you are a liar. Now she knows 2 things. 1. The real number is higher than what you said. 2. You do not fully trust her. Both of those conclusions live in her quietly from that point forward. You tried to protect yourself and ended up more exposed than if you had said nothing at all. You see the trap now. High number, damage. Low number, damage. The question itself is the trap. And the only move that preserves your power is the one most men never consider: strategic silence. Not lies, not deflection, not nervous laughter. Silence delivered with calm, total confidence. Look at her directly, unbothered, and say, "That is not something I talk about. What we have is what matters." No apology, no hesitation, no explanation. Because here is the truth most men miss entirely. She does not actually want the number. What she wants to know is whether she is replaceable, whether you are the kind of man who collects and discards, whether what you have with her means something. And you can answer that fully, directly, powerfully, without ever touching the number. You are not competing with anyone from my past. What I have here with you is where my focus is. That answers the real question. It gives her the security she was actually looking for. Without turning your private history into public information, she will carry into every future argument. Julius Caesar was captured by pirates at 25 years old. They held him for ransom. They expected fear. They expected submission. Caesar laughed at them. He did not perform his vulnerabilities. He did not reveal the pressure of his situation, the uncertainty of his future. He performed dominance in a prison, surrounded by captors, waiting for ransom to be paid. When he was freed, he raised a fleet, returned to the island, and executed every single one of them, because he understood a principle that most men never learn. What you reveal in a moment of pressure determines how you are treated for the rest of the dynamic. Most men, the moment they are under relational pressure, a direct question, an emotional confrontation, a moment of intimacy, reveal everything, and wonder why the dynamic shifts. The habit of answering every question your woman asks you is a pattern. When you establish early in a relationship that your entire inner world is available to her on demand, you do not create intimacy, you create a dynamic where your privacy disappears entirely. And a man without privacy is a man without mystery. And a man without mystery is a man she already fully understands. The brain is wired to pursue what it has not yet fully discovered. When she can predict you, when she knows your number, your fears, your regrets, your next move, the pursuit ends. Not the relationship necessarily, but the pull. The prince who maintained strategic ambiguity, who could not be fully predicted, fully mapped, fully understood, commanded a different kind of respect. The same law governs intimate relationships. You are not supposed to be fully legible. You are supposed to be discovered slowly. Lock it. Not because you are ashamed of it, because your past belongs to you. And what belongs to you stays with you. Now, we have talked about what never to reveal, about where you have been. But there is something you are doing right now, something you think is ambition, something you think is partnership, something you think is bringing her into your world, that is costing you far more than you realize. And most men do not even see it happening until it is already too late. 2. The blueprint of your ambition. You told her your plan. Not all of it, just enough. Just the part you were excited about, the business, the investment, the move you have been quietly building toward for months. You told her because you trusted her. And then slowly, almost gently, she started asking questions. Is that realistic right now? Are you sure the timing is right? What if it does not work? She was not attacking you. She was afraid. But her fear entered your plan, like water enters a wall. You just noticed weeks later that you were moving slower, thinking smaller, second-guessing decisions you had already made with total clarity before you opened your mouth. She did not steal your ambition. You handed it to her. Here is the law Machiavelli built his entire understanding of power around. Never reveal your next move before it is made. He did not write this about enemies. He wrote this about everyone. Because the threat to your ambition rarely comes from people who hate you. It comes from people who love you. People who are afraid of losing you to the version of yourself you are trying to become. Your woman is not your enemy. But she is human, and humans are wired to protect what is familiar, to resist change that threatens the current structure of their life. When you announce that you are about to change everything, the income, the schedule, the risk level, the identity, she does not hear ambition. She hears instability. And instability triggers fear. And fear, in a person who loves you, comes out as doubt. Reasonable sounding, well-meaning, caring doubt that burrows into your confidence and stays there. You have been working on something for 6 months, something that matters to you at a level that is hard to explain. Then one night, the conversation is good, and you think she should be part of this. So you tell her, not everything, just the outline. She listens, she nods. Then she says, that sounds like a lot of work for something that might not pay off for a long time. She is not wrong. She is also not the person who should be saying it. Because you already knew that, you had already calculated the risk. Her doubt is not new information. It is just someone you love confirming your deepest fear. And now that fear has a voice in the room. Every time you sit down to work, that voice is there. You did not gain a partner in your vision. You gained a second internal critic. Julius Caesar did not announce the crossing of the Rubicon. He crossed it. The announcement came through the act itself. The powerful do not ask for approval before they act. They act, then they let the results speak. Your woman's respect for your ambition is not built during the planning stage. It is built during the execution stage. When she watches you work at hours that are inconvenient, when the results start appearing, quietly, steadily, undeniably, these invite debate. Results demand respect. When you reveal your ambition before it is real, you are not just risking her doubt, you are risking your own momentum. When people verbalize a goal, the brain registers a partial reward, a small hit of the same neurochemical that comes from actual achievement. You talked about the business. Your brain processed it as a small step toward having the business. The internal pressure that was driving you, the hunger, the obsession that kept you up working, that pressure has been slightly released. Through a conversation, not through action, you burned fuel that was supposed to power execution on a Tuesday night conversation that changed nothing except your momentum. The desire for a genuine partner in your ambition is legitimate, but you do not include her in the vision by describing it. You include her by achieving it. There is a version of partnership built on shared plans, where both people discuss the dream, process the doubt together. That version feels intimate, and it almost always kills execution, because it turns your ambition into a committee decision. The real version of partnership is the version where she watches you execute in silence and sees the results appear, where her role is not to approve the blueprint, but to witness the building. That woman, the one who watched you work without needing to be convinced, she will never question your next move, because she has already seen what your last one produced. Protect the blueprint, not because she cannot handle it, because the blueprint is not for handling, it is for building. Build first, reveal after. Let the results introduce your ambition, better than your words ever could. We have talked about what you must never say about where you have been. We have talked about what you must never reveal about where you are going. But there is something sitting between those two things. Something she can sense, even when you say nothing about it. And the moment you put it into words, the moment you name it out loud in front of her, it changes how she sees you forever. Not in the way you hope, in the way you fear. 3. Your financial fears before they are resolved. You are lying in bed. She is next to you, and the number is in your head. The account balance, the debt, the gap between where you are and where you told yourself you would be by now. And tonight, because the room is quiet and she is close and it feels safe, you think about saying it out loud. I am struggling. I am behind. I do not know how we are going to handle this. Something in you believes that saying it will make it lighter. It will not. It will make it permanent. Cosimo de' Medici controlled wealth that could destabilize governments. He financed wars. He owned the loyalty of popes. And he rode a mule to work. Not because he was modest, because he understood something about power that most men never learn. The moment people know the size of your vault, they also begin calculating the size of your vulnerability. Your financial fear is your vault. And right now you are about to open the door and give her a full tour. Here is what you think will happen. You think she will hold space for it, tell you it is going to be okay, that sharing the weight means carrying it together. Here is what actually happens. She absorbs it. The first night she is supportive. She tells you she is not worried. But the information is now inside her nervous system. And her nervous system, like every human nervous system, is wired for threat detection. A woman's sense of security is deeply tied to the stability of the man she is with. Not because she is weak, Because biology is not ideological. It runs the same code it has been running for 100,000 years. Perceived instability in the provider triggers anxiety. That anxiety does not announce itself. It comes out sideways. She starts making comments about spending she never made before. She pulls back slightly, not dramatically, not consciously, but the warmth changes temperature by 2 degrees. You feel it. You cannot name it, but you feel it. And now you are managing her anxiety on top of your own financial pressure. You doubled the weight by trying to cut it in half. You are 3 months into something difficult. Business is slower than expected. The numbers are tight. One evening she mentions a trip she wants to take. Something small, but in your current state, it lands heavy. And instead of deflecting cleanly, you say it. Things are tighter than I have been letting on. She goes quiet. She says she understands. 2 weeks later, you are in a minor argument about something entirely unrelated. And she says, almost under her breath, I just feel like things have been uncertain lately. You know exactly what she means. You gave her that word. Uncertain. She did not manufacture that feeling. You installed it. The argument is no longer about what it started as. Now it is about stability, about whether you have this under control, because you told her you did not. Robert Greene identified something Machiavelli had already understood centuries before. Conceal your intentions, not your character, not your values, not your love, your unresolved battles. Because the unresolved battle is not information, it is ammunition. When you share a fear before you have conquered it, you are sharing the weakest version of yourself, the version that exists before the work is done. That version is not for her. That version is for you to sit with, to push against, to use as fuel. The version she gets to see is the one on the other side of it, the man who handled it, not the man drowning in it, asking to be saved. There is something specific that happens to a man's authority the moment financial fear enters the room. It almost never reverses. Before she knew you were a man who handled things, she trusted your decisions because your demeanor communicated that your decisions were trustworthy. After she knows everything you say about money, plans, or the future gets filtered through what she now knows about your fear. You suggest an investment. She hesitates. You say you have it handled. She wants to believe you, but she has data now, and data is hard to override with confidence. You did not just share a fear. You permanently altered her calibration of you. You carry it, alone completely, not in silence because you are ashamed, but in silence because it is yours to solve. When it is resolved, when the number changes, when the pressure lifts, that is the moment you can share what you carried. Not as a confession, as a demonstration. Things were difficult for a while. I handled it. That sentence delivered from the other side of a solved problem builds more trust than any honest breakdown in the middle of the crisis ever could. It shows her what you do with pressure. You absorb it. You convert it. You resolve it. And you never made it her problem. That is what she remembers. Machiavelli's prince did not share his doubts with the court. He shared his decisions. A court that sees a prince in doubt begins calculating exits. A court that only ever sees decisions, confident, executed, final, remains loyal. Let her see your decisions. Keep your doubts for the silence between midnight and the work that follows it. That is where fear belongs. Not in her hands, in your engine. We have locked 3 things: your past, your plans, your unresolved pressure. But there is one thing left that most men expose without even realizing it. Something that leaks out in the way you react, the way you hesitate, the way you go quiet at exactly the wrong moment. She is reading it right now. She has been reading it since the beginning. And when you name it, when you hand her the full map of exactly where you can be broken, you do not become more human to her. You become more manageable. 4. The map of your weaknesses. She did not ask you to draw the map. You drew it voluntarily, piece by piece, conversation by conversation, moment by moment. Every time you told her what made you insecure, every time you explained what your father did to you, every time you said, when people do this, it destroys me, you handed her a coordinate, and she remembered it. Not because she is dangerous, because the human brain is a filing system that never deletes threat-relevant information about the people closest to it. The day the relationship fractures, the day the argument goes past the point of civility, she will reach for it without thinking. And every coordinate you gave her will become a strike. Think about the last time a relationship ended badly. The last time someone who knew you well turned on you. Think about what they said. They did not invent new information. They used yours. The insecurity you confessed at 2 in the morning. The fear you described in a moment of closeness. The childhood wound you explained because you thought understanding it would create connection. It created connection. And then it created ammunition. The same door you opened to let her in, she walked back through on the way out. And she knew exactly which rooms to destroy. Every weakness you name out loud becomes a fortress wall. You built yourself around your own vulnerability and handed the key to someone else. While the relationship is good, the key sits unused. The moment the relationship destabilizes, the key gets used. Not always with malice. Sometimes just with frustration. Sometimes in a moment she does not even fully control. But the door opens. And you are standing there exposed in the exact place you volunteered to be exposed, wondering how she knew where to look. You told her where to look. You are 6 months into something real. The relationship is strong. You feel safe enough to go deep. One night, you tell her about your father, the absence, the way you learn to interpret distance as rejection, the way you sometimes spiral when someone you love goes quiet without explanation. She holds you. She says, "I will never do that to you." She means it. 3 months later, you have an argument. She needs space. She goes quiet, not to punish you, just to process. But you cannot tolerate the quiet. You know why. You told her why. So you text, then again, then you call, then you show up. And now the argument is no longer about what it started as. Now you are the problem. Now you are the one who cannot handle distance. The one with the unresolved father wound. The one who spirals. She is not wrong, but she is using your own confession as the frame. And you gave her that frame. The more you reveal about your internal architecture, your triggers, your fears, your unresolved pain, the more navigable you become. A navigable man is not a respected man. A navigable man is a managed man. There are women who will never consciously decide to use your weakness against you. But the moment they feel threatened or out of control in the relationship, the subconscious reaches for the nearest lever, and you installed those levers yourself. Every confession about your insecurity, every admission about what breaks you. Those were not moments of intimacy. Those were installations. There is a difference between emotional depth and psychological exposure. Emotional depth means she knows how you feel about her, about life, about your values and your vision. Psychological exposure means she knows exactly where to press to make you flinch. One creates intimacy. The other creates leverage. You are allowed to love deeply. You are allowed to feel fully. But the map of your fractures, the specific coordinates of your deepest wounds, those are not relationship currency. Those are private intelligence. Marcus Aurelius commanded the most powerful empire on earth. He kept a private journal. In it he wrote about his fears, his failures, his doubts, his grief. He wrote all of it. He showed none of it, because he understood that a leader who processes his weakness privately converts it into strength. A leader who broadcasts his weakness publicly converts it into vulnerability. You are that leader. Your relationship is that court. Process your fractures privately. Show up with what the processing produced. Not the wound, the scar. Not the fear, the discipline it created. Not the weakness, the man it built. Protect the map, not because you are hiding, because the map is a working document meant to be used by one person. The person doing the work of becoming stronger. That person is you. The moment you hand it to someone else, even someone you love, it stops being a tool for your growth, and it starts being a tool for your management. You are not manageable. You are building. Keep the map. Now, everything we have covered, the past you revealed, the ambition you exposed, the fear you named, the weakness you mapped, all of it traces back to one root cause. One thing underneath all of it that most men will not say out loud. The reason you kept talking. The reason you kept confessing. The reason you kept handing over more than was necessary. It was not honesty. It was need. And this last one, this is the most dangerous of all five. the full extent of how much you need her, not want, need. And somewhere along the way, without deciding to, without realizing it was happening, you let her know, not with words necessarily, with everything else. The way you check your phone, hoping it is her, the way your mood shifts when she is cold, the way a single text from her can undo hours of mental discipline in 30 seconds. She felt it before you named it, and the moment she fully understood the weight of what you felt, something shifted. Not dramatically, quietly. Machiavelli wrote, "It is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both." Most men read that as cruelty. It is not cruelty. Fear in Machiavelli's language does not mean terror. It means respect. It means the other person understands there are consequences to how they treat you. It means you are not infinitely available, not so desperate for the connection that you will accept any version of it just to keep it alive. A man who can be lost generates a completely different dynamic than a man who will never leave no matter what happens. The moment she knows you need her more than you are willing to lose her, she has won every future negotiation before it begins. You have been with her for a year. Things are good, but over the months, your world has quietly contracted. The friends you used to see less, the things you used to do alone, the gym, the reading, the projects, replaced by time with her. You started needing her validation to feel steady. A good morning from her made the day work. Silence from her made it collapse. You started managing her mood because her mood had become your weather. She started pulling back. Not because she stopped caring, because something in the dynamic felt wrong and she could not name it. What she was sensing was the weight, the full, unfiltered, unconcealed weight of how much you needed her. And that weight in the psychology of attraction does not feel like love to the person carrying it. It feels like pressure. When you need someone completely, when your emotional stability is entirely tied to their behavior, you place a burden on them that has nothing to do with love. You make them responsible for something they never agreed to carry: your peace, your confidence, your sense of self. And people, even people who love you deeply, eventually resent what they did not choose to carry. It was never theirs. It was always yours. Attachment theory identifies anxious attachment as one of the most attraction-destroying patterns in adult relationships. The anxiously attached man seeks constant reassurance. He interprets silence as rejection. He escalates affection when he feels distance, which creates more distance, which creates more anxiety, which creates more escalation. It is a loop, and every rotation of that loop communicates one thing: he needs me to function. A woman who knows you need her to function does not feel chosen. She feels trapped. There is a difference between staying with someone because you love them and staying with someone because you are terrified of what leaving would do to them. Love chooses freely. Guilt stays reluctantly. And when the choice disappears, the attraction does not just reduce, it inverts. The relationship built on her knowing she is chosen by a man who could walk away intact if necessary is built on granite. The relationship built on her knowing she is needed by a man who cannot function without her is built on sand, and she can feel which one she is standing on. It does not mean pretending not to care. Cold men are not powerful, they are just closed. It means maintaining a life, a mission, a purpose, a world that exists completely independent of her. It means she is an addition to your life, not the foundation of it. It means that when she is warm, you receive it fully, and when she is cold, you do not collapse, you do not chase, you return to the work, you return to yourself. That response, the response of a man who does not require her warmth to remain stable, is the single most powerful communication you will ever send inside a relationship. It tells her something no words can deliver. I am here because I want to be here, not because I cannot be anywhere else. That is the dynamic that sustains attraction across years. Not grand gestures, not perfect communication, not total transparency. The quiet, daily demonstration that you are whole without her, and choosing her anyway. The man who is brave enough to need nothing from her, brave enough to sit in the discomfort of distance without reaching, brave enough to remain himself even inside the pull of love. That man is free, and she can feel that freedom. She can feel the difference between a man who stays because leaving would destroy him and a man who stays because staying is what he has chosen. One makes her feel like a cage. The other makes her feel like a choice worth keeping. Most men will finish this video and do nothing. They will nod, they will feel the truth land, and then they will go back to the same relationship, the same conversations, the same pattern of revealing what should be protected. Understanding is not enough. You have to decide who you are going to be inside the dynamic. The man who hands people the blueprint of everything he is and then wonders why the respect quietly disappears. Or the man who understands that discretion is not distance, that silence is not coldness, that protecting your inner world is not a wall against intimacy, it is the foundation that makes real intimacy possible. You cannot be chosen by someone who already owns you completely. These 5 things are not secrets you keep to deceive. They are territories you protect, because a man without private ground is a man without power. Machiavelli did not write about relationships, he wrote about power, and power operates the same way in every arena. Control the information, control the dynamic. That is the lesson, carry it. If this hit you, and I think it did, like the video, subscribe if you have not. This channel is not for men who want to feel comfortable, it is for men who want to think clearly. And if you are ready to go further than what I can say here, there are frameworks I cannot break down publicly, psychological patterns too precise, too sharp for this platform. The algorithm does not reward the sharpest truths, it buries them, but they exist, behind the join button below. Inside, we go into the mechanics of influence, psychological defense, and human nature that most people will spend their entire lives navigating blind. It is a small circle, deliberately small. The kind of men who understand that information is the most valuable currency and that access is earned, not given. You can stay here with everyone else, or you can step inside with the ones who are actually operating at a different level. The join button is below. You already know if it is for you. You stayed until the end. That matters. Most people do not. Remember what you came here with and what you are leaving with. They are not the same thing. What you reveal, you surrender. What you protect, you keep. I will see you in the next one.